Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Oh, you beat! What a pussy, dude. There you are. Get on the ground, bitch. Yeah. Yeah. See ya! Woo! Alright, so... Okay. Can you please introduce yourself for all the people that don't know you?
Alright. I'm Mick Hands, known more as Hands nowadays. Play Warrior on the NA server. I've been playing since like 3 months after BDO launched on NA. I stream PvP mainly, do montages and stuff, basically it.
What got you into video at first?
Through my buddy who plays a ton of games. He always puts me on with like games, anime and stuff. He recommended playing BDO, and I looked at it at first, and I'm not super into MMOs. I played a bunch of WoW, and it was kind of like I kind of just played it to play with friends. And I took a look at BDO, and it kind of seemed like Blade and Soul, which I didn't really. I checked that out, and I don't know, I wasn't really feeling it, and I wasn't super into like. Let's be honest, everybody looks at BDO like a weeb game, so I kind of judged it at first, and I didn't really give it a chance. But he was playing it, and I kind of like watched him play, and I like saw the combat, and I was like, dang, this kind of rips, you know. I might have to try it out, and tried it out, and the combat just got me hooked right off the bat. I saw a lot of potential in it, mechanically, competitively, and yeah, I was just kind of hooked. The second I started like figuring out animation cancels, I just wanted to play it like every day and get better.
What is your past, your gaming background? Because you say that you didn't play many MMOs.
I mean, as a kid, I played a ton of WoW, like first-person shooters here and there, but I've always been drawn to like fighter games, like Super Smash Bros. I'd play a bunch of like random like fighter games on GameCube. None of like the super like OG classics like Street. I mean, I played a little Street Fighter, but not like Tekken or anything like that. But basically, I just play a lot of fighting games. I really like 1v1 fighting games or like small arena-based fighting games. And then just like the general like first-person shooters, League stuff that everybody gets into.
You said that you started with a friend. Is that friend still playing?
Well, I started with a group of friends, and those are my IRL buddies that I've known for over a decade. No, they all kind of stopped playing. Well, my buddy that first introduced me to the game still plays periodically, like here and there. Kind of hops on to binge it here and there every month or so. But the rest of my friend group, they kind of stopped playing after like a month. But I was hooked. Like I was hooked like they weren't. I just kept grinding it every single day.
I think video has that something that like you either love it straight away or just drop it.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I mean, and it has so many things, so many different things that could get different types of people hooked. And I think a lot of people kind of get turned off on a lot of games when you're kind of forced down a linear progression system, whereas BDO you could literally just not fight a single player or a single mob, and you could still kind of get like that top tier gear set. So yeah, there's a lot of paths people can take.
In the early days, the game also was, I would say, a lot less streamlined than it is now. It was a lot more punishing in every sense of the way, because no one knew what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, it sparked a lot of curiosities. Like, there's still people to this day, like, people like Big and Shiny that just run tests on the game over and over because, like, early on you had to. If nobody else was doing it, nobody would ever figure out, all those hidden stats, all the hidden AP. And we probably still haven't figured out not only just like hidden stats, but just like, I mean, like hidden mechanics. There's a ton of those in all the class kits, like unmarked moves that you can figure out through specific keybinds.
I mean, I would even say that video is a game that relies on its community, right? Imagine like the game would be completely different without Big and Shiny. It would be completely different without Blue. We probably still would have hidden stats, right? Without the Blue. And I'm sure there's like a lot more people that had small impacts in the game, one way or the other. So not to digress too much. What were your early days of BDO like?
My first year in the game. Well, I started off on a Musa because I mean I looked at Warrior from the very beginning and I was like, ooh, I'm trying to play that. But kind of the way me and my buddies kind of like get into games, we kind of went in with a WoW mindset, and we kind of do that with most games where we kind of like we all pick different classes. Like we don't really want to have like gear overlapping or just I don't know. Like we kind of just want to like diversify all of our experiences when we play. So one of my buddies got to Warrior first, so I was like, screw it, I'll pick Musa. This dude looks fast. Got into him for a bit, and like I said, they didn't really continue playing. But like as I was playing Musa, Musa is one of those classes with like a decent bit of like animation cancels. Not many, but you got a lot of freedom with movement. So kind of like as I was playing that for the first month or two, like I was really feeling the movement. And that's really what got me hooked. The movement, little animation cancels or redirect movement. So I was like hooked from there. But once they quit, I was like, screw it, I'll try out this warrior class that I wanted to try out right in the beginning. I think it's funny. I was 1v1ing on the Musa and just got absolutely dumpstered by Warrior. Like pre-awakened days, they don't have much of a chance right now, but pre-awakened days they had absolutely no chance to touch a Warrior. And I just got dumpstered and I was like, dude, I might as well just try this class out. I hop on the class. I find that it's like 10 times the amount of animation cancels, all this sort of movement. And I'm like, dang, I want to play this class to the utmost, like maximum capacity as possible. And that's just kind of what kept driving me to keep playing for that continuing year. But when my friends hopped off, I was like, I kind of had to find a reason to play. And like you said earlier, BDO is really heavily reliant on that sense of community. And that's a really unique kind of thing I've discovered through BDO that I've never had through any other video game. Like I don't know how to describe it. There's communities in every video game, but anybody who's been playing BDO for as long as I have can say that the community in BDO and how it flows within itself is unique to BDO. GVGs, open world, politics, all that. It's really unique. So I wanted to, I don't know, I just kind of wanted to find a reason to keep getting better and to do something with kind of like, my gear that I'm getting, the skill that I'm getting. So I decided to like join a node guild. I got into that. Did a bunch of did a bunch of node wars, PvP. And when you the thing about BDO is like when you start you'll run into the same people pretty frequently. So, you'll start to get a reputation, good or bad. And I that started to fuel me a little bit when I started PvPing people and like they show respect. I like that. So I kept going around open world for that first year, pretty much doing nothing but just challenging everybody I saw, like everybody I saw, either asking for a 1v1 or if they're acting too snooty to 1v1. The nice thing about BDO is you can flag up on anybody. So just go around flagging up on groups of people grinding and just mess with people and try to get them all to fight me in like 5v1 or like 3v1 or just 1v1. And that's pretty much what I did for the first year of BDO. Is just I try to find a node war guild to kind of like get a little kind of like build a little name within. Just run around and PvP people. Really kind of garnered a reputation as a gearlet because that's really all I did. I didn't really start meeting a lot of people until I joined. Actually, until I left Kyoto. Okay, so the first guild I joined was Kyokai. Some people might recognize that name if you're from NA. Trash guild, honestly. We got dumpstered. I met a couple people in that core. Like some people might remember these guys. Like Get in the Van. I know a lot of people remember Jihi or Aerotechnico. Really good Soric. Radiate, and there's a few other people from that Kyokai core that I recognize as like they're solid players. So after I think it was after we got dumpstered by Man Up that I was just like, yo, boys, I think we might be on a separate level than some of these other guys in here. Maybe we should go mess around and do our own thing. So we made Good Fight, and that's actually the first rendition of that guild. I kind of remade it later on, but it was this tiny little Node War guild, and we placed a few times when we PvP'd, did some Node Wars, and we soon realized that BDO is a numbers game, not a skill game when it comes to Node Wars. So I was like, boys, maybe we just maybe we join a better guild. And we were looking at guilds, and they joined Proto's guild, FML, and started doing Node Wars with them. But I was really looking at Man Up the whole time, so I joined them, and they were super cool. Early on, I didn't really get to know anybody in Man Up because I was kind of PvPing 24/7 and just hopping on, playing loud ass music in my ear and just running around open world PvPing. But I ended up liking the people in the guild from the few interactions I had with them. Most of those being asking Huntler to deck on people 3 times every hour as Sawsons. I liked them, so I told them, "Yo, boys, these guys are solid. Come on over here. Screw that FML guild. Come play with Man Up," and they did. So we just chilled in Man Up and did a bunch of Node Wars, and then that was kind of like my first year. I feel like the way you get into a guild. I'm sorry, I'm kind of trailing off here, but the way you get into a guild in BDO is either gear or skill or money, really. Like if you know how to make money, like you can get into a guild. I was in RBF. I remember how I got into Man Up at first actually is I was in RBF, big group fight. RBF used to be massive back then, like ton of people in there. And I was just tossing. I would always play like frontline peels, and I never really did damage. Like I'd just drop people and move. So I was like, I'd run in there, lingering super armor and all, kind of just rushing through front lines, dropping people, and then moving out and just doing that over and over again and just screwing people over and letting my rangers in the back take people out. And Lakari and Shaq were on the opposite team, and I just kept dunking them on the ground, like moving around them, dunking them on the ground. And they both PM'd me and they're like, "Yo, what's your gear?" Like, I told them my gear, and they're just like, they just sent back in all caps. So I remember Lakari was just like, "Lol." It was just like lol, and I was like, yeah. But then a couple weeks later, Great Sword came out, and I was like, ooh, I was super hooked then, and I ended up applying. And I was like, yo, Shaq, this is that warrior, undergear warrior. Can I, if I grind out my gear, can I join Man Up? And he's like, yeah. So yeah, then I joined Man Up, and I got the Good Fight boys to join in, and and then I really got into the BDO community and started meeting people.
Do you think in NA Siege guilds at least, gear is more important than anything else when it comes to recruitment? Because I mean, you got in with very low gear, but I guess you were more of an exception, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, back then it was easier to be an exception, you know? Nowadays, like the Snake Boys know that I'm good on my skill and I've played with a lot of them for a long time now, but there's no fucking way Be Cool or Truth or Cutie or any of them would let me into Snake with my gear now. Like there's no way. And I understand that. Like I walk up into a node or a siege, I push up 2 seconds, I'm dead, you know. Back in the day, everybody was way more tanky. If you didn't have damage, that's fine. You could drop people, you know, drop them on the ground, push forward. Like now, it doesn't matter what gear you have or what defense. If you're not one-shotting the person in front of you, you're getting one shot.
Since we are somewhat on topic, what do you think? And it's also somewhat hot topic recently. What do you think of Succession Wizard?
I don't do RBF anymore. I can't do RBF anymore because my main account, I'm sure. I mean, yeah, you know, I got banned. So my DP is screwed now. I don't really do like super big group fights. So I can't really speak on the specifics of Succ Wizard because there's not a single one out there other than maybe like I don't even know if Jimmy plays Wizard or like Wushi. No wizard wants to 1v1 a warrior, you know, so, and that's pretty much all I do at this point. So I can't speak on the specifics of the state of Succession Wizard right now, but I don't really need to be that experienced with it to know that that shit slaps harder than any other ranged class and has the movement's decent now too, and the range. It's very versatile right now, I feel like, but I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt because I'm not doing Siege 24/7. You know, I don't have the most experience with it, and I've never played any class other than Warrior, so I've got a very limited perspective. But
I
that
guess the secret to avoid the Succession Wizard is to don't do anything beside 1v1 and play counter to Succession Wizard.
yeah, or just play Warrior and just Solar Flare grapple them. It's their biggest weakness.
You mentioned that you got banned. Can you elaborate on that, on what happened?
So, okay. I've put BDO down for a couple months at a time, but I always found myself coming back just because I like the PvP. But there's one time I had to put the game down for a little bit, um, to kind of straighten some stuff out because I was playing like way too much. I just straightened some stuff out in my life, and I was full time working, full time school. Had a girlfriend at the time that all those three things I really had to focus on, and I couldn't play BDO as much as I wanted to. So I gave everybody a little show and just kind of like blew up some really easy pieces to get back. Like I took some tap pieces and went for pen on them, and I was just like, screw it, boys, I'll be back. You know. Um, and so I had pen tree armor at the time. I didn't blow up my offhand, so I blew up 3 armor pieces, 2 weapons, my main hand and my dandy. I deleted the pen tree just for show on stream, just to mess with people, and I sent a very pathetic ticket to get it back. Admittedly, I may have said my cousin deleted it, but um, so I blew up my gear, and that's something I've done a lot of times. Like I have terrible RNG, and my gear progression has been a very very sad outlier. But my gear was blown up, and I was in school full time, working full time, and I didn't really have time to like grind it back. But I really enjoy PvPing on stream with people and talking about Warrior and whatnot, and I still wanted to do that. And my gear at the time was like straight up like 180 AP and like 200 like 50 DP, and I was still streaming and 1v1ing people with that gear, but it was tough, like people couldn't even gear match me, and I wanted to get that back up. So I know a lot of people, and a lot of people in this game know a lot of people who pay other people to grind their account, and so I had never done that. So that in the 3 to 4 years that I was playing the game, I was like not making any money. I was just PvPing 24/7, doing a little bit of grinding in between, and just slowly getting my gear up. And when it mattered, I'd really push for some gear or level. So um, I didn't want to grind, so I hit up those people and I was like, "Yo, is there would they do like a little package here and kind of like get me these few pieces back, the 3 pry armors and the 2 pry weapons, right?" Uh, did not cost me that much. I just wanted them to get it back to Tet, back to where I had my gear. I didn't want them to boost me to 300 AP. I didn't want them to boost me to 400 DP or nothing crazy. I just wanted to get my gear back to where it was so I could stream again. So I paid for that. The rough part about this whole thing, I'll take a ban or I'll take a punishment. I knew the risk. I'll take the punishment of the ban on the chin, and I'll accept that. But the thing that really got me about this ban was I looked at and they never appealed this. I looked at the time frames where they had claimed there's 2 types of bans they put out for RMT, and there's a perma ban, and that was after a certain point. But there's this little grace period where people are only getting 2-day bans. I don't know what happened to I think his name's Odir, like the 200,000 dude spent like 200K on
Hmm.
BDO. That dude got banned, perma banned on the same wave as me that I got perma banned. It was around that time that dude got banned. That's when I got banned. Like I didn't spend that much. I really did not spend that much at all. I got priors to Tet, and within that little 2-day period, and I still got perma bans. I didn't go. I checked the dates. I wasn't really playing at the time, so I didn't even know about the RMT warning. but I went back and I checked on the dates and I saw I was not RMTing past that 2-day ban period, but I still got permanently banned, and a lot of people were really confused. They didn't even know I RMT'd at all, and there was zero suspicion because I had 278 AP and like 316 DP. Nothing crazy. At the time, that was like that's I mean slightly above the average player who just like hops on and plays for a couple months, but it was nothing crazy. So people were super confused and they didn't suspect anything, and they're just like, wait, what? And I was
And
just like,
usually
wait,
people RMT to get ahead.
yeah,
You
I
did
just wanted
some
to,
ethical
yeah.
RMT.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of people who were actually really, really mad at me, and they're like, "Damn, I didn't think you'd do that. Like, you're always trashing on like, pay to win, like paying to win super hard." And I did. I don't really like the fact that a lot of the progression in this game is people say pay to convenience, but let's be honest here. Like it's pretty pay to win. But that's a whole other discussion. I don't know your opinion on that. Like you may have a separate opinion, that's fine, but I personally believe that if you start spending money on BDO, you'll exponentially increase your progression. And I trashed on that, and I kind of took it to a next level, I guess, by paying someone to grind on my account. So a lot of people were really mad at me, and I don't know, that felt bad.
You say that you didn't appeal to it.
Well, I thought I did it. I thought it was a mistake at first, right? I was like, I sent in a ticket, and I kind of explained the situation, um, but I got an automated response at first, and so I was like, "Ooh, this sucks. Let me just send in another ticket and maybe." I was a former BDO partner, like top kills NA on that account. They knew who I was. Like there's even a GM who like didn't even like me, like named me by name once. Who didn't really like me. I'm not gonna name names at this point, like it's said and done. But um, like I sent in a ticket, got an automated response, and I was like, that's screwed up. Maybe I can get to them directly. I sent the message on Discord, and they're like, we don't talk about this on Discord. Send in a ticket. So I was like, shit, let me just send in another ticket, see if I can get somebody who's going to talk to me like a human. And I got the same exact response, copy pasted. And I was like, wait, hold on, guys. I've been playing this for 4 years. Um, spend money on the game. I've been promoting the game and getting people into it. I've had hundreds of people DM me on Discord telling me like, "Yo, I got into the game because of you. I really want to get good at PvP. Like, can you give me any tips?" I still get those. Like, even though I don't really stream and make videos as much nowadays, I still get those. Like, I was like, guys, I really put on for your PvP community. I don't think I'm like doing anything super outlandish. Like, could you guys help me out? I don't think this was a rightful ban. And they took that, one of these GMs took that same automated message and just passive aggressively just bolded the "we do not, we will not undo this no matter what," and they just put that all in bold, sent me the same copy paste, and motherfucker added the little smiley face right at the end too. Like I was like, okay. And at that point, like I knew, I was like, damn, that account's gone. And I don't know, man. That actually hit me really hard because I don't know, that account meant a lot to me. Like I had a lot of experiences, a lot of unique experiences, and like I talked about it in one of my videos. Like I was kind of going through like a rough time at the during the first 2 years I was playing the game. Like I was kind of going through a rough time, and it was a really big source of happiness for me. And I don't know, it was a very sentimental thing to me, that account and that name that I kind of like built up. So getting that stripped from me was like shitty. And then on top of that, the company I was putting on for, I mean, to be fair, I never really liked how Kakao handled their customer service or their game, and I was vocal about that. So I think that's why some of them didn't really like me, but I was still putting on for the game and like bringing people to it. So it just felt like a, I don't know, slap in the face a little bit. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I cheated, so I'm still kind of conflicted on it. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Do you regret it?
Considering my trash account is almost caught up to by my new seasonal character who's wearing full Tuvala gear, it's not the worst. I can 1v1 and stream again, and I do. Man, I miss my old stamina pool. Ugh, so many more animation cancels, so much more movement. But besides that, yeah, I do regret it just because I don't know. I'm a very sentimental person. I miss my burn armor too. That shit was tight, but I don't know. It was a sentimental thing to me, so I
Yeah.
do regret it. Yeah, for sure.
Do you know if your ties are cut now with PA? Like, would you be able to apply as PA partner? No.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. And then I never continued appealing it because once I found out that once they're transferring the servers, that old account would get deleted. I just kind of let go. I was like, damn, that's gone. I can't transfer banned accounts either. Like it's gonna get deleted. Are my ties cut with PA? I don't know because I never really got in contact directly with anybody from PA before because I was one of the first like BDO partners once they brought out the partnership program, and I was really active then. But kind of like towards like that last year where I blew up my gear and kind of like stopped playing for a bit, I was really inactive. So inactive that they had just taken me off partner without saying anything, and like
And this is before the ban, right?
this, yeah,
This is really weird because Kakao had a lot of partners that never
yeah,
streamed the game.
yeah,
It's really interesting that they removed you.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't think I'm really the most brand friendly face. I got kind of a dirty mouth, and uh, back in the day, I would shit talk a lot. Now I'm more like I don't really have nothing to prove. Like I really like helping people. I mean, even back then, I really liked helping people play mechanically, but and like improve mechanically, and I try really hard to help people improve and kind of give them something to strive for and encourage them. But back in the day, man, I shit talked a lot, and I would put on a show on stream, and I'd mess with people just to entertain. It was never anything personal, but I'm just not. Uh, Admittedly, I'm not super brand friendly, so I'm not 100% surprised that they would remove my partnership, scrub me from the website. The weird part is that I was still in the partner Discord for a very long time, but I never talked in there, so I don't think they ever realized I was still in there. So I was in there for a while, and they recently removed me from that. But yeah, there's a lot of people that literally never streamed. Didn't make. I think there's a couple partners that quit BDO that were still partners longer than me, and yeah, they removed me. That was before the ban, so I really have no idea what that was about, what I got removed for. But I guess it wasn't an activity.
But you came back to the game, right? Afterwards. How much time did it pass before you came back?
After I got banned,
Yeah.
it's funny. I was getting ready to start up the stream that day. I didn't know I was banned. I turned on the stream. I don't usually have BDL loaded up by the time I get the stream going. I usually just toss on the stream. I'm like, "What's up, boys?" and I just load it up. Or I might have started the stream. I'm not sure. But it was in the morning, and I was getting ready to start it up, and I sent out an announcement to the boys, and I logged in, and it was like, "You've been permanently banned for RMT." And I was like, "Shit." I just told all these dudes, I put an at everyone announcement in my Discord. I'm about to stream. I'm about to go live, and then I log in, and it looks like I'm banned. I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, what do I do? I was like, fuck it, the show's got to go on. So I log in. I posted the screenshot on my Discord. I was like, uh oh, boys. I log in, I turn on the stream, and I just made a level 1 character and started grinding up a new warrior on stream, and ended up having like 2,000, like 1,500 or like 2,000 people tuning in to like see what the hell was going on, because everybody was like, oh shit, Hands got banned. What? Like, nobody had any idea why I was banned, because what would I have gotten banned for? RMT. My gear is trash. Like, nobody knew. So everybody just tuned in that day. I just told people I got caught performing misconduct with tamers, and I was just telling them that the whole day and just loving the new character. I mean, 5 minutes. It took me 5 minutes to come back to
Okay.
BDO after getting banned.
Okay.
God help me.
You're of course known for your mechanical play on warrior. Is there something you would change about the class?
My selfish side would say put super armor on grapple, but I know that'd be super unfair for a lot of 1v1 matchups. Every 1v1
Yes.
matchup.
Please no. Please don't do it. I changed my mind.
Or lingering super armor for fun, but I know that'd be way OP. I'll take block canceling over lingering super armor any day. But realistically, there's this one stamina glitch that I can't stand. Uh, like you just hold your left auto input and you try to dash at the same time while holding block. Like if you're holding block and you queue up a left or a right directional input and you hold left click at the same time, your stamina is instantly drained and you're pulled out of whatever super armor you're in and you're stunned for a second. If that wasn't in Warriors, if they just fixed that glitch, Warriors perfect. I wouldn't change a thing about it. I think it's really versatile. Um, and you're as safe as you play. If you want to play like a little turtle and be boring, people can figure you out. If you want to move really fast, you're opening up a lot more gaps. But if you understand your matchup and your own skill level, those gaps seem almost non-existent to some players. I think it's in a really good spot. And honestly, I would nerf slashing's damage just a little bit. Slashing the dead, I'd nerf that a
Mhm.
little bit. It's kind of crazy.
What keeps you invested into this game?
I don't think it's been the same thing since the beginning. I think different things have motivated me to keep playing. To the game specifically, I would definitely say it's the potential. Basically, the potential you can reach mechanically with warrior specifically. Like if I've said it before, like if warrior wasn't a class in BDO, I don't think I'd be interested in the game at all. Definitely just playing warrior. It's just I don't know. It's as simple as that. I really enjoy the class. I enjoy the dynamics of PvP in BDO, and I think it's very unique from other games. PvP where the mid game where you're not really hitting each other, you're moving around and trying to like figure each other out. The mystery and the freedom in that mid game is something really unique to BDO. Um, it creates a lot of play style diversity. Like you can look at certain people playing certain classes and you can tell like I don't know, for example, like maybe like block jump or like maze zap on a ninja. You see them zooming around, like you get clapped up by them, and they say they like name change or something. You're gonna be like, is that? Or if they got like a Gillion or something, you're gonna be like, that's got to be this dude. Like there's a lot of play style diversity. Just that mystery in the mid game just makes every fight seem unique, and there's always little things in that mid game that you can either improve upon or innovate, I guess. There's always just room for innovation in a PvP situation, and that's always what kind of brings me back. I always feel like I can get better.
I think video kind of gives you a form of self-expression almost with the gameplay.
Oh
That's
yeah.
that's why yeah, you see a lot of different playstyles.
Oh yeah. For expression, that's something I've specifically noticed. And I think that's why the montage community in BDO has become so, at least with Warriors flood montages. Like they just flood YouTube with montages. It completely, like Warriors specifically, just overshadows every other class when it comes to like pure like saturation of videos. I feel like, Eh, but more broadly, I think that's why the montage community in BDO, like for every class, is so um just
Thriving for
prevalent.
sure.
Yeah, thriving. You just got a lot of room to express yourself, and yeah, that mid game, the just the whole process of engagement in PvP kind of becomes an art form. I've had people tell me like, "Yo, this looks sick. Like this looks like art. Like the way you like take mechanic." I'm not trying to like suck myself off here, but I've had people be like, "Yo, this looks like art." The way like you take like you can literally take an animation, cancel it on a certain frame into a different animation, and cancel that one, and you can just start creating your own movement and your own animations, basically. It becomes art at a certain point, really. That sounds pretentious.
No, no, no. I think it's fair. I mean, as I said, anything that is self-expression can be considered art. Probably. I don't know the definition of art, but anything that makes you express yourself, I would say that's pretty close to the definition. And if BDO allows you to do that,
For
um,
sure.
then I'm sure you can say. I mean, it's a form of art. It can be, at least. You can definitely like. BDO is one of those games that you can straight away tell if someone's a cunt when you see their playstyle. You don't even need to speak to them, right?
Oh, bro, there's certain. Oh my god, I don't even want to name some stream snipers, but like, oh my god, yeah, you can play like an ass. You can play like an ass. You know if someone, if someone's a little bit gear carried when you're fighting them for sure.
While we are in topic, what do you think of CC resistances in the game?
At the end of the day, it's an MMO with gear and stats, but I feel like desync creates enough RNG with CCs where like if they just took CC resist out of the game, I don't think anybody could complain other than like extremely geared Witcher wizards that don't want to lose that their only weakness, or that don't want to lose their only protection against their main weakness is how stationary they are. So if they're getting hit with a lot of CC, you know what I'm talking about. You get hit with a lot of CC, you're
Mm-hmm.
resisting half of it. Like super geared witch wizards like go heavy on CC resist and they just become towers of gear that just melt people. But some people wouldn't like that, but I would say the majority of people would be really happy to see uh crowd control resistance taken out of the game, like with how fast paced the game's become, with how good people have gotten at the game. I think it becomes really frustrating at a certain point when you're playing at such a high level to have your plays gated by RNG. Like the rest of the game is so heavily dominated by RNG. Like once you get past all those hurdles to get your gear and to get better and everything, once you take it to PvP and you're already dealing with the RNG of desync. Once CC resist on top of that, it can really ruin the fun. And I don't know. I think majority of people would not be sad to see that go.
How do you see the future of the game? And in general, like, what are your plans for the future in the game?
So far, I've been seeing a lot of positive improvements that uh, I've never seen in the past like 3 years. Like patches and additions to the game have always felt half-assed. In the past like 6 months, I don't know, 6 months. I don't know. Just the past couple months, it seemed like the game's been headed in a much more positive direction. Uh, like the new skills they put out mechanically are great. I like them. They did really well on those types of animations and like being able to manipulate them a lot. I think the people running the game, I think the PA is uh, making much larger effort to connect with the community, and I just see a lot more people coming back to the game, like really like OG players coming back to the game, and I think it's going in a good direction. As long as they keep interacting with the community, I think that's key. If they keep interacting with the community and kind of like taking in a general consensus. Obviously, there's kind of widespread opinions that are not so great, but as long as they pay attention to like what everybody wants and they kind of keep in contact with partners who have been playing the game for a long time that can kind of say like, yeah, this is pretty true, or nah, people are just salty because we're wizard strong or something. And can kind of keep that all in check. I think that's a really good dynamic to keep going to make positive improvements to the game. Um, I mean, what do you think? Like community wise, or kind of like just the game itself? How do you
Yeah,
think the game?
I mean, I think it's a similar sentiment for everyone playing the game. That has played the game since the start, like you can clearly see that something is moving or something is like slowly changing in the way PA handles the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely more involvement. I hope it's not just temporary, just because they transferred from Kakao to PA. Maybe they want to see they're the cool parent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's after a
Yeah.
divorce, it's fucking showering us with gifts,
Dude,
getting us whatever we want, just
dude,
because.
straight up, like I've never hit a weapon in my life. The first day of the server transfer on my new account, I hit pen dandy, and a ton of people in my chat are like, "Yo, I just hit pen dandy. My friends just hit pen dandy." Like, I was starting to think like maybe that first day they like hyped up the RNG a little bit.
To me, like if they remove CC resistances and they nerf Wizard, that's it. Game's
You'll love them
fixed.
for life. Yeah,
Yeah.
game 6. Yeah.
There's only these two things that are like just majorly broken. I can deal with like OP stuff. I don't care if the game is not balanced. I think it's fine. I think an
It never
unbalanced
will
game
be.
can be fun in its way. But overall, I do think the game is it's weird. It's getting better. Like you don't expect an MMORPG that is closing in. I think we are 7 years from Korean release. It's so weird to
Yeah.
see a game 7 years after release getting better, right? Usually MMORPGs have go downhill, right?
And
They
it
have the spike at
was.
the start, and it was going
Yeah.
downhill.
It
It
really
was.
was. Like the player base was dwindling. They were making that was around the time that they like revamped every class, like super armor, like CC, and like that was not popular, you know.
I personally liked it.
At
I
first,
was a
like
fan of
right
the
when they
CC change.
okay, that's fine. I think the new CCs I like them better for like combo diversity, but I don't really like them as much for group fights. You know, I'm gonna tell you right now, when they stripped lingering super armor and warrior didn't have block cancel, I was the saltiest man playing BDO at the time.
I think
But
it depends on which class you played at the time, right? If your class was really strong
sure,
and you got a nerf, or
yeah.
if it was really weak and you got a buff.
But regardless, any sort of like shell shock change to the core mechanics of the game like that, there's it's always gonna be like it's always gonna be kind of like a black and white reaction. But along with that change and some of the, I believe there's like node and siege mechanic changes at the time, the game was just changing really rapidly. And a lot of people were like kind of salty that a lot of like there wasn't any new like PvP content. Um, it was kind of bad timing.
Yeah. As much as people like to shit on BDO for having no content, I think it's like the MMO that changes the most, or one of the MMO that has the most amount of changes to everything.
Mm.
If you play the game, if you stop playing and you play every 3 months, a high chance that you just come back to stuff that you've never seen before, or like drastic changes to the game.
Oh yeah, I was blindsided by Nova release. Yeah, I logged in one day and just got clapped up real hard. I had to like relearn that, and I was just kind of shell shocked for a day. Like, there's a bunch of stuff like that, and you got to kind of like double check and make sure all your skills are hitting as hard, and or they're still CCing people. It's the same cooldown. Oh yeah, another thing, real quick. At that same time when the player base was declining, that was also when the lag was a super big issue. That was another thing. Do you think the lag's gotten any better on your end? I don't know how your EU
Maybe
servers go, but
maybe it's placebo. It feels a bit better. It's
yeah,
still a major issue. I think it depends how much PvP you do. If you do a lot
for
of
sure.
PvP, you see it a lot.
Yeah, for sure. It's
Uh,
like every match. It doesn't matter what people's connections are looking like. You're always going to see a little bit of desync, but I personally think it's not as drastically desyncy as it was, kind of back then, like when they did that server swap host for the NA servers at least.
do you have any final words? Anything you want to say to the people watching?
Shout out a lot of them out before, but shout out Steve, Yo Fam Steve, Amu, Mac, Zethian. A lot of those guys are really supportive to streaming community. There's more. I'm bad at recalling names, but There's kind of the PvP streamers I watch. Zethian less so. Zethian's a boomer. Shout out Zethian though. No, not really. No, I don't really got much left to say.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for taking the time for the interview. Really appreciate it. Hope you had fun. Hopefully it was a good experience. And yeah, thank you so much. And have a good day.
Yes, sir. You too.